Yeah. First name, last name, date of birth.
Oh, hey there. Good morning. Why the long face? It's March. We got temperatures in the 60s for the rest of the week. We can go outside, go for walks on our lunch breaks. That means Derby's right around the corner, you know? That's why I want you guys to wake up with me so we could enjoy our favorite month of the year. What's the matter? You're not excited to not go outside this morning and not scrape 6 inches of snow off your car? I forgot. That's right. It's March in the Bluegrass. And who are we kidding? Your happiness hinges on the success of a college basketball team. Hey, mine too. And understand, but you're gonna snap on Janice from accounting if we don't work some of this shit out. I know it's not the most pleasant, but let's talk about this Virginia loss, shall we? I'll be the first to admit it stings. It does. A win, and Louisville secures at least 2 Quadrant 1 wins. They get a senior day victory for some seniors that definitely deserved it against a team that's always had your number. It also secured a double bye in the ACC tournament. They're locked into the NCAA tournament, and that Chris Mack hot seat talk, forget about it. Now all of that goes out the window. Louisville is squarely on the bubble, and the Cards didn't do exactly anything to wow the NCAA tournament committee or the fans.
I will say the one bright spot in this game, and maybe the most hyped I've been all season, was during that run that Louisville made in the second half. Louisville trailed 39-29 and proceeded to reel off a 9-2 and 7-0 run. A Jalen Withers ferocious drive, an and-one dunk, and a Dre Davis quasi-fast break 3 brought Louisville basketball within 3. However, when Louisville had multiple opportunities to pull ahead of the Cavaliers, they just seemingly could not do what it takes to get over the hump. Now, Louisville certainly had its chances, but they feel like a team that gets the opponent up against the ropes and then lets the other team punch its way out of trouble. If I had to point out one thing that troubled me the most about this loss, it was the lack of ability to pull ahead even when Virginia had its 3 best players out of the game late for extended minutes. Joey Hauser is going to have some insane games. Louisville guarded him as well as any team has all season. The Cardinals did well after the first segment to limit Jay Huff. Neither Hauser nor Huff scored in the last 13-plus minutes of the game. Virginia blew things open for good without their stars, and Louisville just had no answer. The situational awareness was maddening. Withers got stuffed at the end of the first half because he didn't know there was 2 seconds left on the clock. David Johnson jogging the ball up the court, down multiple possessions with less than 2 minutes left. Louisville's inability to pressure the ball in the waning minutes, all of that is inexcusable. The Cardinals only committed 3 turnovers. They held one of the best shooting teams they faced all season to 5 3-pointers. Louisville let a winnable game slip away by simply not having situational awareness down the stretch. But let's look ahead to the conference and NCAA tournament, shall we? An area where I feel most Louisville fans unrightfully have a sour taste in their mouths regarding Chris Mack and his ability to get it done when it matters the most. Let's set the record straight for a second. Louisville has played in exactly 3 postseason games under Mack. They have a win over Notre Dame, a loss to North Carolina, and a loss to Minnesota. That's it. Also bear in mind that there was a Louisville team in its first year under Chris Mack whose best player was Kristen Cunningham. But what was Mack like in the postseason before he came to Louisville? Prior to Mack's promotion to head coach, Xavier had been to the NCAA tournament 20 times in 90 seasons. His predecessors in Cincinnati, Thad Matta and Sean Miller, went on to lead their schools to 1 national title game, 2 Final Fours, and 4 Elite Eights over the next decade after leaving. However, neither of those coaches had the success at Xavier that Mack did. Under Mack, Xavier went to 7 NCAA tournaments in 8 years, including 2 seasons that ended in a Sweet 16 and 1 that ended in an Elite Eight. Why do I bring that up? Well, the reason is twofold. Firstly, the reason Chris Mack was considered the only option and an absolute home run hire by Vince Tyra 3 years ago was because of his ability to turn teams without much going for them into successful tournament teams. Louisville is currently projected anywhere from a 9 to an 11 seed. Well, in 2012, Mack led a 10 seed to the Sweet 16. In 2015, Mack led a 6 seed to the Sweet 16. And finally, in 2017, his 11-seeded Xavier squad marched all the way to the Elite Eight. The point is that Mack was able to have as much, if not more, success than anyone in his school's history with a tougher road in the NCAA tournament. That most recent team, the 2017 squad, they upset 6-seeded Maryland, destroyed number 3 Florida State, and beat a great number 2-seeded Arizona. So how exactly did Mack's team end up with an 11 seed that season, one might be inclined to ask? Well, that Xavier squad finished the regular season by losing 6 consecutive games, all of which were by at least 8 points, and 4 out of the 6 losses were by double digits. In fact, Xavier's only wins after February 4th of that season were 2 wins against DePaul. Mack had a certified clunker on his hands, yet he was able to turn that team around and guide them to a more than respectable Elite 8 finish. Keep in mind this was just 5 years ago. Secondly, he did this with a lower level of players than he has right now at Louisville. Mack's final 5 recruiting classes ranked 67th, 15th, 119th, 28th, and 11th. Those recruits included the likes of Trayvon Blewett, Quentin Gooden, and Paul Scruggs, 3 solid 4-star players that ended up being pros. However, he also had to make things work by recruiting players like J.P. McCura, Edmund Sumner, Sean O'Mara, and Tyreek Jones. Never has Mack had McDonald's All-Americans at his disposal. He has never had the treasure chest of talent that will be rolling into Louisville over the next couple of years. All of that is to say this: the frustration is understandable. However, the pulse of the Louisville basketball fan base takes twists and turns based on game-to-game performances. As we said last week, let's not get too caught up with casting judgment on a coach that has only gotten the chance to show what he can do in the postseason one time.